As you start to finish up your house in Homestyler, um, there's a couple of tricks that you might find kind of interesting. First off, you'll notice I painted the outside of my house or created the outside of my house with brick, except I missed a wall right here. So just a little tip, if you go up to tools here and you get material brush, I can pick up this brick pattern and then I can click on that area that was missing it. And there we go. Now I got it. So I can then fill that in so that I have my brick pattern where I need it. So that's a helpful little tip. And if I hit escape, I can get out of that tool. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to start to create some images. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and create kind of a nice little front view. You can also do this via 3D. You'll have little controls down here to pan your way over. I'm going to move back and kind of position yourself. The other thing you can do if you see it moving already is you can move the camera around a little faster by dragging that. So I can get myself kind of that front yard shot that I would want right here. So this is the one I'm going to start with. Okay, so I need to, for my project, I need to create some renderings. Renderings are really nice images. You know, we've got kind of a cartoony video game look, and we want it to kind of look like a photograph. So what we want to do is we're going to click the little, I don't know why it's a teapot, but we're going to click the little teapot here that says render, and we're going to get the render tools here. Now this is an outdoor shot, so we're fine leaving it with the nature setting. Okay, so it kind of figures out what it is. There are some environment settings. So I have the green grass setting on right now. If you want to, you can change some of the other environmental settings. You won't necessarily see any change right here, but these are fun to experiment with. The 16:9 aspect ratio is fine. If you want it to be a little narrower, you can do the 4:3. But the way I look at it, if you create the photo larger than you need, you can always crop it down later. You can't really make it bigger. Okay. I would leave it on the fast setting for now because what we're going to do is we're going to render this, make sure it's the way we want it, and then that's a great opportunity to then bump the quality up and get a much better image. So when we click render, it like sucks your picture up into here. And technically, you can now move on. So if I wanted to, move over or pan over or do something like that, that's fine. But just so you know, where it goes is into this view images area. So if I click there, we'll come in and it'll be submitting. Okay. Now this will take a little bit and then it will render. And if you watch it, a little bar will fill up and then it'll show you your actual picture. I'm not going to sit here and wait for that. So I'm going to go ahead and click return. And we're going to go ahead and start adding some of the other shots. Now, if I take this and I just start moving the camera in, this is a great way to kind of hurry up and change location. So obviously you would have your full kitchen done. I have some settings going on here, but let's just say that I want to view out into this room. Okay, so I can put the camera over in the corner and I want to shot out in this room. Again, you'd have furniture, you'd have wall decorations, you'd have all this done up the way you want. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch just for something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and switch the settings to warm or warm white. And we're going to go ahead and hit render and see what that looks like. Now when I go to view images, hopefully my other one is done. Oh, it just rendered and I can click view detail. So I get this, and it's a much more photo quality type of look. Now you can see it's still a little grainy and that sort of stuff. That is the fact that this is the fast quality rendering. Okay, but we do it because it happens quickly, and then once we're done, we can look at it and go, yeah, okay, that's what we want. And when you click return, you can actually go back to rendering with the same view and make some adjustments. Now my living room is back, so we can view the detail on that. So as you can see, this one actually has much better quality here but still a little bit of graininess. Still some things that would benefit from um, uh, a little bit of adjustment. You'll notice it's also a little on the dark side. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and click return and click return again. So warm white wasn't enough lighting. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go into customized. So I'm going to click customized, and this takes a little bit. So what you get then is an area. Okay, and you get the ability to add um, light. So there's some different spotlight options. There's a plain light. Um, and what I would suggest is we're going to take the plain light. Okay, I'm going to put it in the majority of the room. I've had best luck with keeping this inside of the walls, so that's why I'm not overlapping, taking it out into there. I'm going to move it a little more to the white side of things, this kind of pinkish white area. I'm going to crank the brightness up quite a bit because it's competing with those windows. Okay, and then these are the sizes. Now, I'm not going to mess with the angle or the height. We're going to go ahead and leave those alone, and I'm going to click done. Now, the unfortunate part of that is I can't get a preview or anything, so I do have to click render again and let that go. But one of the things that, just so that you know, that is very helpful, plenty of windows. Okay, doors help, plenty of windows help a lot. In your interior rooms, do your best. You might have to spend a little time messing with this lighting, but you are going to try to get images of every room. Because remember, our goal for the project that we're working on is to put together a listing as though this house was being sold. So we're going to want images of every room. By now that should hopefully be rendered out, and you can see I get a much better quality. So when we look at it here, and I can view the detail, okay, I'm getting a much better quality. The room overall is much brighter. I do get a little bit of reflection in, a little bit of contributions from the window, but this is a much more natural, correct look, okay? As you can see by the fact that this is living room number 13, I've done quite a bit of playing with this to do this before I started creating it. So these are I've literally done 10 images before there, just trying to mess with those settings. So I'm pointing that out so that you know it's going to take some time to really get the pictures just the way you want it. That's why this is the goal for the entire week. So work on those. When you do get the pictures the way you want them, you have the ability to download them right here. Like I said, I would actually go back to this one. And instead of fast, go to a quality setting and get either standard or HD, depending on how really good you want it. You can do either of these, but even just kicking it to standard is going to make a big difference. But obviously, that's something that it's going to submit for a while. It's going to take a longer time, and but it's going to clean up some of that graininess and stuff like that. But like I said, I would do that with the ones that you've done the fast render on. They're set up right, your lighting is right, everything looks good, so that you can go ahead and create those the way you want it. Yeah, it's going to take twice as long once it's actually rendering. These usually, when I've done these before on my computer with my setup, these have usually been taking 50 seconds or less. Oh, it went a lot faster. But you can see as I bring this in, some of the graininess is gone. I might even get, I get a little bit more detail out the window. This is a much better image. I could even try the HD one and see if that gives me even more of what I'm looking for. All right, there you go. And the nice part is this, it does tell you what it was rendered as. So that should do it. If you have any questions, feel free to check Google first. I learned how to do this from the 20-second video on the homestyler.com help videos, so those work well as well.